Privileges Committee report has been published, and as expected, Boris Johnson has been found guilty of misleading Parliament. But misleading Parliament is not the sole preserve of Boris Johnson. Only on Tuesday of this week, James Cleverly misled Parliament in answer to a question in the House where he was challenged to provide one example of a benefit of Brexit, something that has benefited the UK. And he came out with one of the most debunked lies and about the only benefit Brexiters have been able to come up with so far, and that is that the vaccine rollout was a benefit of Brexit.
Nearly 7 years since the people of Glasgow North voted by 78% to remain in the European Union. I wonder if you can give just one example in that whole time of how the United Kingdom's diplomatic or international reputation has been enhanced as a result of Brexit.
Mr. Speaker, I'm sure you'll tell me off because I have more than one example I'd like to give them all. I know time is tight, but I'm going to keep talking until told off by the Speaker. Our ability to move quickly with regards to vaccines meant that we were at the forefront. Well, they might not like it, but nevertheless, our ability to move quickly with regard to vaccines meant that we were one of the first countries in the world to come out of lockdown. Our ability.
Order.
So how did this lie catch on? Well, it all really started in December 2020 in an interview that Matt Hancock, the ex-health minister, whatever happened to him, gave to Times Radio, when he stated that because the UK had left the European Union, we were able to roll out our vaccine quicker. This was covered in the BBC that he'd made this statement, and also Channel 4 in their fact check of it quoted him again, saying that because of Brexit he was actually allowed to change the law to allow us to authorise the vaccine quicker. And this caught on with Brexiters. And in one particular interview, Boris Johnson even claimed that Brexit had saved lives because we were able to get the vaccination out quicker because of Brexit. Again, a complete and utter lie.
Don't forget, it wasn't a trivial thing that we, as I said just now, we were able, because we had a different regulatory regime. And people will dispute this, but if you look at it, it's absolutely true. We were outside the European vaccines programme. We were able to do things very, very differently, and we approved a vaccine faster than any other country. The Medical Health Regulation Agency, the MHRA, was able to approve, I think, both Pfizer and AstraZeneca before anybody else. I'm fairly certain of that. And that gave us the edge in rolling out that vaccination programme, and that was a totally massive thing. And it was I would say Brexit saved lives.
But this lie caught on, and in fact, I experienced this personally just about a year ago when Leads for Europe attended the first of the hustings to pick the new Tory leader and new Prime Minister. I mean, God, it was only a year ago. It feels like half a lifetime ago. But whilst we were there outside protesting, I challenged the Tory MP Alex Shelbrooke to name one benefit of Brexit. And he trotted out this line about the vaccine rollout. I said, let me stop you there, because in 2020, June Rain, the head of the MHRA, stated that the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine had been authorised under EU rules whilst we were still members of the European Union during the transition period. Alex Shelbrooke's reply was to say that is not true. So this claim that we had the fastest vaccine rollout in the world was purely down to Brexit has really taken hold with Brexiters and with Tory MPs in particular, who cannot come up with any other benefit. In January of 2023, Helen Wakely appeared on the Nick Ferrari show on LBC and made the claim again.
3 years ago, later this week, the UK actually left the EU. What's been the biggest achievement in that time?
So, as you say, I did vote Remain in the referendum, but both completely accepted the result of the referendum and actually also see the opportunities for the country as a result of Brexit and the different path that we can take.
What have you achieved in the first 3 years? What opportunities?
I mean, actually, one thing that you can point to is our vaccination programme during the pandemic, where we were able to go further and faster and led Europe, if not the world, on our pace of vaccinating people, which protected many, many thousands, millions of people from COVID. So that's an example of the sort of thing that we can do.
The independent fact-checking organisation Full Facts checked out this claim, and they came to the conclusion that it was just not true. But maybe the last word should be with June Rain, the CEO of the MHRA, who was responsible for actually authorising, and she makes it quite clear in a statement in December 2020.
We have been able to authorise the supply of this vaccine using provisions under European law which exist until the 1st of January. So our speed or our progress has been totally dependent on the availability of data in our rolling review and the rigorous assessment and independent advice we have received. So I hope that clarifies the point about the European relationship.
So that makes it quite clear. The vaccine rollout was not a benefit of Brexit. There is nothing that we did with the vaccine rollout that we could not have done as members of the European Union. Let's put it to bed finally.